Thank you very much for allowing me to visit with you. I'm Ishwar Puri, Dean of Engineering, your Dean of Engineering. I'm here today to answer your questions. We've had an anxiety-riddled and challenging 2 weeks. We worked heroically because we have a mission. And our mission is to educate citizen scholars who will transform the world. We're educating citizens, we're educating scholars, and I'm sure that you will go ahead and transform the world. So today I'm joined by the associate deans who take care of undergraduate studies, graduate studies, and research, and directors in the Faculty of Engineering, as well as our assistant dean. They're responsible for student advising, student engagement, for outreach, and the overall operation and administration of McMaster Engineering. We're here as a team to answer your questions. Many of your questions are already on Slido, but there's still room. Please submit your questions to sli.do/maceng. So first of all, I thank you for allowing me to visit with you. As I mentioned, it's been a challenging couple of weeks. Your faculty members, staff members are here to serve you, and they've been heroic. The reason that we are here today at this juncture is not because of anything that we had hoped for or wished, but there is a pandemic upon us. Just today, there was a surge in COVID-19 cases in Ontario. Yesterday, there were 100 cases, and today, by mid-afternoon, the number of cases had gone up by nearly 70%. So the first thing I want to say is stay safe. We're here because of a pandemic, but we're in it together. We'll get through it together. Stay in place, limit your physical interactions with others, and of course, as you've heard, wash your hands. What's on top of mind for me is your health and safety, and that your future outcomes and careers are not diminished. It's important for us to get you through this semester because your success is important to us. McMaster Engineering has the highest retention rate of almost any public university in the world when we consider students going from first to second year, and that has an impact on the overall graduation rate. We care about you, we want you to succeed, and so let's have a discussion in that context. I want to take this time to thank faculty and staff members who've done so much to take us through these last 2 weeks. Many people say we've gone online. We haven't. What we've done is something beyond that. In very many instances, we've created virtual classrooms online. We've created virtual labs online in several programs. In our research effort, many of our students, faculty, and staff members are making research pivots to address COVID-19. We are supplying protective gear to frontline workers from our labs, workers who are in Hamilton and who will be working in our community. We are designing, prototyping, and even manufacturing ventilators that are going to be much needed. We've built prototypes of surgical masks. We're building a prototype of an N95 mask because we know that there'll be a scarce commodity very soon. Just today, there's news of a dashboard being created that looks at the pandemic and its infrastructure as a complex system to see how when one portion of the system is perturbed, let's say there's a shortage of supplies in one area, how the entire system is affected as a result. There's a lot of work going on. We've reached out to our communities. The protective gear that we've contributed is to maintain the strength and the health of our communities. But what's on top of my mind is also the anxiety that our students are facing, their physical and mental health, their outcomes. And that's what we are working for. So now, for those of you who are just tuning in, just to remind you that our associate deans and directors are with me on this live visit with you. And they are also available to answer questions. Questions have been submitted, as many of you know, for a while on Slido. So sli.do/MacIng. They've been updated, and you can still submit them, and that process of updating can still occur. Earlier this morning, I retrieved some of the questions. The first question that's causing anxiety and some concern is, will McMaster Engineering move to a pass-fail grading system or optional final exams like other schools? The answer is yes, the university is actively discussing this. And I anticipate that you will hear official word of this soon. I want to put this in context. McMaster Engineering cannot just develop a policy for its students. We must do so in consultation with the entire university. For our students to have the option of pass-fail grading implies that the other 5 faculties, such as science, humanities, social science, health sciences, the DeGroote School of Business, would also have to approve of this change. Much of that discussion has concluded. The university is actively looking into this, and I want to repeat that McMaster will approve a policy where the well-being of our students is recognized. And we recognize that the well-being of our students is in extraordinary times, not in ordinary times. The second question that I received is, we need an extension on deadlines because we can't focus on schoolwork with everything going on. What are our options? So for many students, the option that we've offered are MSAFs. MSAFs are now being received without documentation. Our advice to you is that you connect with your advising team, with your academic advising team. They've been heroic. They've moved to remote work, but they have academic advising all day long, virtually, over video, or through chat, or through email. So I encourage you to go to the McMaster Engineering Academic Advising website and get a video conference with your advisor. I repeat, the MSAF policy has been relaxed for this term. You're encouraged to talk to your instructor or department chair about this. The next question that received a lot of upvotes was that my professor said we need to have cameras available for the exam to record ourselves. Is there any way around this? I don't feel comfortable with this. There is precedence for recording exams in the university, but if you are uncomfortable, talk to your chairs. The chairs of your programs will be sympathetic to you, and so I encourage you to take up this discussion with them. What will happen for summer research for undergraduates? These are extenuating circumstances, and McMaster Engineering is developing our options for summer undergraduate research. As you might know, the university has closed research labs that are not associated with efforts around COVID-19. So most of our buildings, our labs, are empty right now. Unless the pandemic passes, we will not be able to open those buildings and those research labs. However, we've created a workaround. Our faculty members are being sought to propose remote research work that might involve mathematical simulations, analytical work, literature searches, the creation of hypotheses. The support and supervision of a faculty research mentor is very critical. For those of you who are involved in the NSERC USRA process, or if you have the Dean's Excellence Awards, you will get a communication that might rematch you with a faculty member if the original work that you were going to do was going to be hands-on work, experimental work in a laboratory. We just heard from NSERC that NSERC is still planning to move forward with the USRA program. So the Faculty of Engineering, to summarize, intends to move forward with summer undergraduate research. We are looking at options for remote research for our undergraduates, and you should hear about this also quite soon. For all of these issues that I've just addressed, I ask you to be patient with us. We did not anticipate this pandemic. We did not anticipate the university essentially closing instruction, face-to-face instruction. We did not anticipate that our research labs would be closed. We did not anticipate that we would be here today. And so we are creating solutions in real time. And the intention of those solutions is to remain invested in your success, is to remain true to our mission that we're going to educate you to become citizens, scholars, and that we will prepare you to transform the world. Well, here's one question. Aside from these academic questions, how are you doing? If you mean me, I think that the last 2 weeks have been the most intense in my life. But it's not just me. I am surrounded by an amazing and incredible team that supports me. The associate deans, directors, department chairs, faculty members, staff members, they've just been outstanding. Imagine moving from real classrooms to virtual classrooms over a period of 3 days. Imagine people moving their research from labs into their homes. Our days are just like your days. They're filled with meetings on Microsoft Teams, Zoom, video, FaceTime, Skype. We've all been involved in solutions for crisis management, and we're trying to move forward in the best way possible. What is immediately apparent to us is that many of our solutions are quick solutions. Some of them may not be perfect, but given the circumstances, it's the best we can do. We're focused on students graduating. We don't want our students to be held up, particularly students who are just about to graduate. We want them to get their degree. We want them to become professional engineers. We want them to pass the law and ethics exam. We want them to get good jobs. And we want them to become successful alumni. And for all others, we want them to proceed from first year to second year to third year. We don't want their education to be stalled. We don't want the education or the research of our graduate students to be stalled. So there's been an incredible effort to move education and research forward. I appreciate the question. How are you doing? I think that we are working and flying through a haze of fog of uncertainty. Right now, we're doing all we can, and I think we'll reflect on how we did and how we're doing right now when the crisis is over. And it will be over. All crises pass. But when it passes, we want to be convinced that we did the right thing and that we rose above the crowd because we are true to our mission. The next question is about co-op. What can I do if my co-op employer is no longer moving forward with the position? If your co-op employer contacts you that they're not moving forward with your position, please contact your co-op coordinator. We have a wonderful team in engineering, career, and co-op services. Your co-op coordinator can help you discuss if the employer might allow you to work remotely, delay the start of your co-op term, or support you in gaining access to look for new co-op opportunities. These are trying times, not only for us, not only for students, or for deans or associate deans or directors or department chairs, staff members, co-op coordinators, advising members. These are trying times for everybody, including employers, but we're here to help. So if there's an issue with co-op, reach out to your co-op coordinator. I can't promise you that we'll be able to help in each and every situation, but at least we'll try our very best to walk you through the situation and give you the supports you need to pivot. That's what innovators do. We pivot. The move to virtual classrooms from real classrooms was a pivot. And we've innovated. We've all innovated. Students, faculty members, staff members. The move from research in labs to virtual labs, remote labs, is a pivot. And that's what innovators do, and we are the innovators. What is innovation? Innovation is a way of making life better. Life has a challenge right now. We are innovating, pivoting to meet that challenge. So in all of these issues, your advising office, your supervisor, your mentor, your co-op coordinator, your department chair, the relevant director, assistant dean, associate dean, or the dean, we're here to help you pivot. We're here to help walk you through the process. Another question was, well, it's not a question, it says, I think it's worth appreciating the work being done behind the scenes at McMaster Engineering to get us through the pandemic. Keep up the good work! Exclamation mark. Well, thank you very much. And that question had quite a few upvotes, and I really appreciate that. We always say that we're a community, hashtag Fireball Family, hashtag Team MacEng, although I do prefer hashtag Fireball Family to the other hashtag Team MacEng. But we're a family, and we'll get through this together. I don't deserve the credit, really, entirely. The people who deserve the credit are the ones who are helping me on this town hall, helping me answer these questions. They're your faculty members, your staff members, advising members, co-op coordinators. They're the department administrators and department staff. They're the people who work in the deanery, behind the scenes, organizing everything. They're our faculty members. They're the department chairs. We all deserve the credit because everyone is going beyond the call of duty. I'm very fortunate to have this team, and thank you very much for acknowledging their good work. They're working overtime, long hours. Why? So that the outcomes of our students are the best they could be under very, very trying circumstances. There's a question about spring summer classes being moved to virtual classrooms. The answer is yes. All of you should have received a communication. And the reason is very simple. We don't know when this pandemic will end. It's not going to end over the next couple of weeks. As I mentioned today, the number of COVID cases in Ontario nearly doubled from that of yesterday. If you look at Quebec, our neighboring province, the number of COVID cases there this morning when I checked was above 1,300. There's a pandemic. And I think we need to realize that, and we need to plan. The short-term plan is to get every student through this semester with the greatest success. The intermediate plan is to plan to get every student who needs an education and who wants to be successful through the spring and summer terms till the end of August. And then we'll focus on our long-term plans. Students who come back in September. So to recap, the spring term will begin on May 4th, which is the regularly planned spring start date. The summer term will begin on June 22nd. Courses will be offered in the virtual classroom format that we have been following. It does not appear at this time that face-to-face classes will be available. But who knows if the pandemic ends? And I hope it does. So further information about these changes has already been communicated to all students, and it's also available on the McMaster COVID website. There's a question about staff. Do we know when staff will be able to return to work? I'll be honest with you and completely transparent. No, we don't know. The Prime Minister has told us to shelter in place, stay at home. The Premier of Ontario has told us to shelter and stay in place, stay at home. This is a pandemic that does not only affect McMaster University, it's a pandemic that affects Ontario, Canada, and the world. I think that we would do best to heed the advice of public health. As Dean of Engineering, I don't have the answer as to when the pandemic will end. But we have to do everything and be socially responsible to not allow for its spread. Every social interaction that we have, which involves physical contact or close physical distance, is a threat. It's a threat of COVID transmission from one person to another. We have to understand why these social distancing and physical distancing measures are in place. I am visiting with you today from my home, not my office. Many of you are in your homes. And I think we should heed the advice of the Premier, the Prime Minister. We should heed the advice of public health. We don't know when we'll be able to get back together in the same building, on campus. But I know that we will. I started out by saying that all crises end. This one will end. I think we'll be together. I think staff, students, faculty members will be able to return to campus. And then you know what? We should have a huge celebration, which I look forward to. The next question is about COVID-19 affecting graduate students' research. The question is, will McMaster reduce or remove the tuition fee for the summer fall terms? The answer to that is multifold. One is that the university is committed to continuing its services during this period. Issues about fees and tuition are made by the provost of the university, who is the vice president academic, and the president of the university. The provost and the president are examining different options for supporting students in financial need. They have not yet disclosed to me how the university will proceed in May. But I would say this, that many graduate students who are doing research are supported. And our support to those graduate students has not ended. The support to those graduate students includes not only remuneration, but a remuneration that is based on support for TAs, for research assistantships, scholarships, and also support in the form of support that covers their tuition. We have not reneged on that. We're thinking about you. You are a talent that we are mentoring for the future. You are the talent that's going to solve the big grand challenges that the world faces. Please know that we'll do our best to support you and not leave you high and dry. Many students are going for graduate schools, and the recent circumstances could heavily impact their grades and the chances to the schools they want. That's the next question. The person who submitted the question wanted to know my thoughts. So I would say that we are here for your academic well-being. The issues that we are going through are issues that universities across Canada are going through. There's not a single university in Canada that's open right now, or for that matter, south of us in the United States. Grades are going to be impacted, if they are, for everybody. And so take some solace in that. I suppose it's small solace, but there's some solace. But what I want you to know is that we are trying to be equitable in our alternate assessment formats. We're actively discussing what these alternate assessment formats will be, that they should be equitable, that they should support you and assess you for your learning and not be punitive. At this time, the discussions are ongoing. I ask for your patience. You will hear more about this hopefully next week, probably next week, which will give more clarity to your questions. The next question is about access to a stable location. Not everyone has access to a stable location to do schoolwork right now. It's a lot to expect students to do midterms, etc., with no change to deadlines or grading. I recognize that. I recognize the stability of the learning environment, the utility of the learning environment, the structure of the learning environment, and also today, access to stable internet. I live in a neighborhood where I just have a cable provider and my calls keep dropping off all the time. It's very frustrating. Cell phone reception in my area is terrible, very frustrating, very alienating. You feel isolated. Believe me, I know. It causes anxiety. I want you all to form support groups where you can support each other and talk through these issues. In addition, the Student Wellness Center is there to help you with support. That center is making virtual student appointments. Again, I mentioned MSAF, academic options. Please talk with your academic advisor about that. What about student clubs and teams? How are student clubs and teams going to run with the unexpected COVID-19 situation? Well, first of all, I can't tell you how proud I am of our student clubs and teams. You are terrific. I travel the world going to other universities, and I must say that our clubs and teams are a gold standard. Well, let me change that. I take that back. They're a platinum standard, way above gold standard. We've moved our teaching and learning into virtual classrooms, but our interactions with student clubs and teams have also gone virtual. We have many student groups whose members are meeting virtually. They are planning, coordinating their teams. They're doing administrative and design work for their various projects. So I would ask you to let us know if there are virtual tools that we can provide to support your success. We're committed to this platinum standard we have of clubs and teams. We're committed to support you. If there's anything that we value, I think most students know by now, particularly through the creation of the Pivot, which is the largest transformation in engineering education in this institution's history, and I would say anywhere in the world. You know that we are really committed to experiential learning. And much of that learning we recognize occurs beyond the classroom. Clubs and teams enrich the McMaster engineering student experience. Let us know how we can help you. There are things that we can do and things that we can't do. Right now, we can't open up the Hatch Center for clubs and teams or machine shops. Why? Not because we are unreasonable. There's a pandemic. And it's our responsibility to address it through social distancing. But if there are virtual tools that we can provide you, let us know. We are here invested in your success. The next question is, as the Prime Minister appealed, can McMaster make use of its 3D printing facilities to produce medical supplies and join the fight against COVID-19? Thanks. I'm proud to note that McMaster Engineering is one of the institutions or faculties noted in Canada, which is leading the research pivot towards COVID-19. We have set up teams to build ventilators, build face masks, surgical masks, N95 masks, build dashboards. We even have a team that's looking at a repel surface that shrink wraps around objects which might repel viruses, which is antimicrobial. We have a team that's looking at rapid drug screening for wound healing, such as the wounds that occur when the coronavirus attacks the respiratory system. All of these efforts are ongoing. And we have ways for students to become involved. So let us know if you want to become involved. The 3D printing facilities, for instance, in the EPICS lab, many of the undergraduates know what that lab is, have already been marshaled for a face mask prototyping and building operation. The facilities of Hamilton Public Libraries and the Toad Library have been offered to us and others, and plans are underway to make use of them. There's a huge effort to address COVID-19 in McMaster Engineering, and I think each and every one of us should be proud of that. And all this in a week and a half. It's been a mammoth effort, long hours, sleep deprived in many ways, but good things are happening. And because of those good things, I'm very confident that we will address this crisis. There's another question. If the school is going to a pass-fail system, how will this impact first year's GPA for specialization, like choosing a major in level 2? Can students opt out of pass-fail to boost their GPA? We're aware of this concern. As I mentioned, the grading policy will come to you soon. It's being discussed. It's not a McMaster Engineering policy. It's going to be a university policy. We don't have the authority. I don't have the authority to set a grading policy. The university does. But this exact point that was raised is under consideration explicitly in a policy that is currently under review. As I mentioned, hopefully it will be released within a week. The next question is about graduate student support. Are there any plans to extend the duration of graduate students due to the setbacks of no lab time? So the answer to that is mixed. Graduate student support depends upon the funding for research. The funding for research has not increased. We hope it will, and it might alleviate the situation, but I want to be transparent with you. With the current funding at this time, we don't have the funds for extensions of everyone until the end of degree. We also don't want to encourage students to remain in McMaster Engineering longer than their current expectations for degree completion. We'd like you to be active outside of the university, seek employment, start your startups, be innovators, form your companies, apply for faculty positions. The bottom line is that we want you to get along and proceed with your career goals in a timely manner. Now, having said that, students who want to take longer than the normative time have always been free to take longer at their studies. But the scholarship that is promised in the offer to pursue studies at McMaster in the Faculty of Engineering is awarded in full over 4 years for a PhD and 2 years for a master's student. The next question is about Kipling. What is happening with Kipling? So I think to understand this, Kipling is not organized through the Faculty of Engineering. The organizers of Kipling are a national organization And it just so happens that Camp 13 is in Hamilton, and the big catchment for Camp 13 is McMaster University. So at Kipling, the vast majority of individuals present who receive iron rings are McMaster engineering graduates. But there are also other individuals, such as international graduates from international institutions who also attend the ceremony. They're a small number. So out of the 700 or 800 individuals at Kipling, maybe 150 or so are international graduates and the rest are McMaster graduates. As a courtesy, because of the large number of our students, we make McMaster facilities available to Camp 13, and Kipling traditionally occurs in the gym. But we have a pandemic. We can't meet. Certainly 750 or 800 people can't meet in a gym. Plus the presenters of the rings, the organizers. We just can't have that. And so Kipling has been canceled. What Camp 13 has decided is not to cancel Kipling, but to postpone it. They have not informed me as to when it will be rescheduled, but I hear your concern and I will pass it along. Please be assured of that. There are a few other questions. What can we expect as students in the next few weeks as the semester wraps up? Any more big changes coming up? I'm certainly not planning on making any big changes. This has been a huge undertaking for our faculty members and our staff members, and also for our students. It's been a huge undertaking for me. I don't plan any big changes, but I can't answer that question. What can we expect as students in the next few weeks as the semester wraps up? This really depends on the pandemic. It depends on society. It depends on how responsible people are in social distancing. It depends upon whether the people of our nation and our province heed the advice or the exhortations of the Premier and the Prime Minister to say, stay apart, we want the pandemic to end. I can't predict that. I don't have a crystal ball. All I can say is we didn't plan for this big change. We're not planning for any other big changes. But the message I want to give is of hope and resilience. We are resilient, we are hopeful. If a change happens, we will keep everyone in mind. Not only the mental health and outcomes of our students, but I am also responsible for the safety and the mental health and the outcomes of staff members and faculty members. We'll keep that in mind. So everybody, students, faculty members, staff members, physical and mental health, safety, top of mind. We're resilient, we'll get through this, all crises pass. Can we get extensions on assignments and exams? It's been very stressful with what's going on. Here, my advice is really to talk to your instructor. We're all in this together. We're all compassionate. Talk to your department chairs and work it out with them. There's a question about tuition fees for international and local students for summer because students as well as parents are in crisis at the moment. Please know that we're aware of this. The number of jobless claims in Canada was 1 million over the last 2 weeks, 5% of the workforce. 1 out of every 20 people who were working, filed for unemployment. That's a staggering number. So we are advocating that our students must be supported during this time. These are questions that are being handled by the provost and the president. We will continue to advocate on your behalf. But in the meantime, I would ask you to go to the website of the registrar. The registrar's website has a place where you can request a virtual meeting. So for those students who are in financial distress, please go to the registrar's website, set up a meeting, and work through these items. The university is not collecting interest on late fees for March, April, and May. And there is a fund set up to assist students, but that fund goes through the registrar. So I would ask you to go to the registrar's website, the Office of the Registrar at McMaster University, and set up a virtual meeting. Are there any plans for convocation and diploma pickup? Can we pick up our diploma early? Here, in place of normal spring ceremonies, we are planning an online celebration with an in-person ceremony that will be scheduled at a later date when the pandemic is over. Why are we doing that? We recognize that convocation is very important and special, not only for graduates and our award recipients, but for their families, your parents, your friends who have supported you through all of these years. So we are actively developing plans for both the online and in-person celebrations. But while the timing of the ceremony, the in-person ceremony, will change, the timing of when students graduate and the conferral of degrees for graduates is not going to change. Those who are eligible to graduate will be granted their degree on time. The messaging for spring convocation is already on the site of the Office of the Registrar. So I encourage you to go to that website, the COVID-19 website for the university, and you will get the information there. Again, pass-fail. If pass-fail is approved for undergraduate students, what are the options for graduate students? So here again, I want to tell graduate students that we advocate for them. We're sympathetic to them. But as you know, while your teaching and learning and your research is in the Faculty of Engineering, graduate students, in a sense, belong, and I say belong in a very loose sense, to the School of Graduate Studies. As of now, we haven't heard anything from the School of Graduate Studies about pass-fail for graduate students on your behalf, as your concerns come to us. Those are the questions that I have, but more may have come in. As I mentioned, questions could be submitted to on Slido to sli.do/maceng. And if there are additional questions, they'll be communicated to me. So I'll take just a moment for you to collect your thoughts. I will smile at you, and if there are questions that are submitted to me, I will answer them. I don't see questions that have been submitted to me. And so let me see how the questions will come. All right, here are the questions. Quite a few. Many students are going to graduate schools. I think I've answered that. I've answered the co-op question. So a question came in: if the university stays closed past April 6th, will staff's jobs remain safe? So the question is, we have essentially learned from the university that everybody's job stays safe to April 6th. This is a precarious time. We are working our way through this process. The process is that the university provides us with the funding to continue. And I don't anticipate that after April 6th, our way of looking at our staff members will change. I cannot say straight out, flat out, that jobs are secure, but what I would say is that for those of you who've been with us and are permanent employees, we've already had conversations internally within the faculty, and this is something that we'll advocate to the university, that those jobs should remain safe. This is a dynamic situation, and that's essentially how we are addressing it right now. So the issue about co-op and internship is that interviews are continuing to happen via phone and webcam, and all scheduled interviews in Oscar Plus have detailed instruction for your virtual interview. So I would say in terms of co-op, reach out to the Engineering Co-op and Career Services office, your co-op coordinator. We're moving ahead as though co-op will happen. I've learned that many students have been offered remote work through co-op. So let's try to work our way through this by working with the co-op coordinator. So there's a question about summer camps. What will happen to summer camps? We don't have a plan for that right now. Summer camps are not due to happen for a while right now. Obviously, if the pandemic continues and we're shut down, so are the summer camps. The issues we face in summer camps are the same thing that issues are being faced by others, by Tim Hortons, by Starbucks. So the summer camps essentially are issues that we are going to consider. If the pandemic ends, the summer camps will happen. If they don't, they will not. The question is, what will employees for these camps do? So I would say that McMaster University has been closely monitoring information from the government and public health agencies, and we are taking their advice on how to proceed with internships, strengthen measures to flatten the curve for COVID-19, protect the health and the lives of Canadians. So we're not in a position really to make a decision about summer camps or the employment opportunities right now. You'll have to be patient with us regarding that. There's a question. How can an individual's mental health be taken into account? Student says, as a student who struggles with clinical OCD, the entire situation makes it almost impossible to study. So I hear you. I really hear you. It's a difficult time. Again, I would point to the Student Wellness Center. It's currently available for students with virtual appointments to help set up exam accommodations. So we really encourage students who are struggling with mental health issues to reach out for assistance, and that's the venue in the university to reach out to. A question. McMaster itself has called these times unsettling. Why are students expected to carry on like nothing has happened? So the answer really is that we don't expect students to carry on like nothing has happened. We do understand that these are challenging times. It's hard for you, it's hard for us too. Please know that we are doing everything to get you through this term and offer support. I encourage you to reach out to your professor, to your chairs, to your academic advisors. No one expects you to act like nothing is happening. This is not normal. So there's a question. Dean Puri mentioned that we can get involved in research programs on the 3D printing lab to help fight COVID-19. Who should we get in touch with for that? There's a form that's been set up on our website. It's an intake form. Fill out that form. We've identified project management support and staff support. There are at least 3 people who are triaging all the intake and deciding on how we are going to proceed. So what I would say is use the form, submit the form to us so that we can match you with the right project. Another question, will course structure and/or expectations of incoming first-year students be adjusted to compensate for the reduced content delivery at the high school level? We're invested in your success. We're going to make sure that you're set up for success. We will not compromise on our academic excellence. We can't do that. But we will support all of our students, including incoming students, to continue to be high achievers. And this may mean different kinds of supports for math, for physics, and so on. We're here for you. Obviously, we don't want students to come in and not succeed. We're very proud of our academic excellence, that in one of the leading engineering programs in the world, we have one of the lowest, if not the lowest, attrition rates. More first-year students go to second year than otherwise in other institutions. So, thank you very much for your questions. It's been a nice town hall. I've enjoyed visiting with you. Your response has been just overwhelming. As you see, I've had some answers. I don't have some answers to some questions because we are still working our way through this. This is a pandemic that's come upon us. The situation is a week and a half old, but please know that faculty members, staff members, students, we're all in this together. For all of them, for staff members who might be struggling, for students who are struggling, for faculty members who are struggling, we're here to support you. I ask for kindness, I ask for patience. We're a community. I like that hashtag, Fireball Family. So to my Fireball family, thank you very much for being with us. We've had more than 100 questions, but unfortunately we can't get to the answers. What I will tell you is that we will host another event in the future where I can provide you answers to the other questions and more fulsome answers. So once again, thank you very much, and go Fireball family.